As rumored, the start date for Batman Part 2 appears to have been confirmed. The sequel to Robert Pattinson's Caped Crusader was announced last month, with the film set to hit theaters in October 2025. Along with Pattinson, director Matt Reeves will return for the sequel. The film will be a part of DC Elseworlds, according to new DC executives James Gunn and Peter Safran's plans for the franchise. A TV adaptation of Colin Farrell's Penguin is also in the works, with Reeves in charge. The 8-episode series follows the villainous Penguin's rise in the Falcone crime family in the aftermath of 2022's The Batman. Following the bulletin of their DC strategies, Gunn managed to review leveled at him, and Safran by some addicts. When Peter and I took the job as heads of DC Studios, we were aware of a certain knownage of people online who could be, well, uproarious and unkind, to vocalize the least, the supervisor tweeted. Our DCU preferences are rested on what we accept is trendy for the story and for the DC characters who have been around for close to 85 generations. Perhaps these choices are great, perhaps not, but they are made with sincere hearts and integrity and always with the story in mind. While Robert Pattinson's The Batman did extremely well at the global box office, the hero is gearing up for another run as Bruce Wayne. Pattinson conflicted with the Riddler, as well as crime leaders the Penguin and Carmine Falcone in Part 1. With new updates, it's rumored that the sponsors will bring back some of the major villains to take Part 2 up a notch. According to new crashes, since director Matt Reeves and Alfred Pennyworth star Andy Serkis are returning to the sequel, the producers are evidently brainstorming dissimilar storylines. However, two villains from the first picture may make a strong comeback in Part 2 if everything goes well. According to a source, Paul Dano and Colin Farrell will repeat their positions as the Riddler and the Penguin in the DC picture. However, they will be the fourth verified member of the Batman 2 forecast, following Robert Pattinson and Andy Serkis, if this rumor is true. Part 1 of The Batman viewed Colin Farrell's Oswald Cobblepot causing mayhem in Gotham as a free man while observing the megacity flood tide. The Riddler, on the other aspect, was displayed to be confined in Arkham Asylum, with Barry Keoghan's Joker as his cellmate. Interestingly, Paul Dano spoke about reprising his role in The Batman 2 in October 2022, saying he would probably be there if asked. Speaking of Farrell, he is currently filming The Penguin, his own HBO Max show. Aside from the return of the major villains, fans can expect new villains to surprise them. For the uninitiated, Robert Pattinson's The Batman 2 will begin production in November, with a release date of October 5, 2025. Michael Uslan, the executive producer of The Batman, has revealed that filming for the sequel, The Batman 2, will begin in November. Uslan took to social media to share the news, posting a poster from the first The Batman film with the caption, "The Batman Part 2 begins production 11/23. The Batman, which was released just over a year ago, introduces audiences to an early version of The Dark Knight, with Bruce Wayne only 2 years into his career as a crime fighter. When a sadistic killer leaves a trail of cryptic clues, the DC superhero Batman finds himself venturing into Gotham City's underworld. As the evidence draws closer to home and the scope of the perpetrator's plans become clear, he must forge new relationships and unmask himself as the perpetrator, and bring justice to the city's long history of abuse of power and corruption. Details about The Batman Part 2 are currently unknown, but both Pattinson and Reeves have expressed interest in introducing Robin, with the pair mentioning the Court of Owls, Calendar Man, Mr. Freeze, and Hush as potential villains in the sequel. Matt Reeves will return to direct the sequel, which he has co-written with Mattson Tomlin, and Pattinson will once again don the cape and cowl. While James Gunn and Peter Safran will create their own shared universe as part of the new and hopefully improved DC universe, even introducing a new iteration of Batman in The Brave and the Bold, The Batman Part 2 will be part of the Elseworlds franchise. The Elseworlds projects will exist independently of the main DC universe, allowing filmmakers like Matt Reeves to create shared cinematic universes unfettered by the events of films like Superman Legacy and The Authority. Despite not having a stylish story or actor to play the superhero, Batman kept the cult entertained with a surprising opening scene and interesting screenplay. The Batman received an 87 ranking from Rotten Tomatoes and grossed $750 million worldwide, steering in a new period of inventive storytelling. Multiple addicts questioned whether Robert Pattinson would be a good fit for the role, but his interpretation obtained the ideal Batman vibe. On the one hand, the Batman deviated from the franchise's previous cliches by going completely dark with the theme, while on the other, it introduced an intriguing villain, the Riddler, into the spotlight with a compelling premise. While it wasn't the best ending for a Batman film, fans couldn't have asked for anything more from this incredible story. Matt Reeves, the director of Batman, has some intriguing plans for the franchise. Similarly, he left several loose ends in the first film, as well as a few hints on what we might expect in future installments. With that in mind, here are our hopes for the Batman 2. Batman was more concerned with Bruce Wayne's story than with him hunting down aimless villains terrorizing Gotham City for individual gain. Riddler, on the other aspect, was a fantastic villain who punished corrupt government office holders while also trying to bump off Bruce because he assumed his father was also compromised. It was an excellent avenue to commence a new Batman picture in the franchise, but the first picture didn't claw deeper into Bruce Wayne's backstory. By showing off addicts how he grew up and what interactions he had in history, another picture has the possibility to make a spectacular storyline. It would greatly profit both the story and his individual progress. After the Riddler's gambit floods Gotham, he'll nearly outright rebuild it as Bruce, not Batman. Batman pictures are never exciting without an engaging discipline, similar to the Joker or anyone from the comics. Following the events of the first picture, Gotham City will have a significantly developed number of opponents than usual, as the megacity will be unstable and lawless for an extended period of time. It would be an excellent occasion for some interesting DC Comics villains to make an appearance. Bane, who first appeared in Batman Comics in 1993 conclusion Batman Vengeance of Bane, is the first of multiple villains to appear. While the list could go on indefinitely, after all, someone invariably wants to be Gotham City's leader, only a limited would be villains in the sequel. Hush will make an excellent opponent, if the sequel is anything like the original, but addicts are eager to witness the Court of Owls in the Batman 2. According to DC Comics, the Court of Owls is a decades-old conspiracy lurking in the shadows and pulling the strings in Gotham City via corporate entities. The city is in a particularly perilous situation as a result of the recent flooding, giving these ancient criminals an open invitation to strike. For his part, Reeves is well suited to tell the story of Batman 2 and reveal the Court of Owls' brutality. It's long been a DC show tradition to incite a feud between the vigilante and the cop who helps him in the name of justice. It was similar in the CW's Arrow, where Quentin Lance had several encounters with Oliver Queen. That is a plausible storyline for the sequel if Matt Reeves wanted to incite fan outrage.